The Mitchell thing to me, I think it's so interesting. I went to the game on Sunday and I watched Tatum go toe to toe with Durant. He's guarding Durant and Kyrie. He's as a two-way guy was just absolutely elite. It was so impressive. He played 45 minutes doing everything he could to help the team win. And I'm watching Mitchell last night. They can't stop Brunson. Conley looked like he was on a bad wheel. And it's like, where's Mitchell? Hey, you're supposed to be if you are one of the best 15 players in the league, that goes both ends, dude. That's not just you can score and make some threes with 3 minutes left. Like, go defend the other guy's the other team's best player. And over again, it was Brunson just torching all of these different guys on the Mavs. I didn't understand it. I don't know why Mitchell didn't want the challenge.
That's a great point. We were talking about it in the press box last night. Like, at some point, you got to take Conley off Brunson. Like, this guy's 35. Yes. Like, he's just getting killed out here. And Mitchell, you're the best athlete on the perimeter on the team. No one can stay in front of anyone. Like, really the only adjustment for Quinn to make is say, Mitchell, like, you need to lock in on defense right now and just start playing ball. Because there's really not a lot of other moves he can really do. And yeah, you're right. You would think, you look at Mitchell, you watch how he plays. There's no reason logically he can't be a good defender. He's not tall, but he's got very long arms. He's very powerful, elite athlete. I mean, like, and Jalen Brunson's dropping 40 on you. At a certain point, you just got to make the adjustments. Say, this is my guy. I'm slowing him down. I'm the best player. He never did it. And I expect in Utah, he's going to have to.
Yeah, I wonder with Mitchell, he's kind of is who he is now for a couple years here. And maybe this is just who he is. I don't know. Maybe he's like, I didn't vote him for All NBA, but he was right on the fringe. He was the 7th guard for me. I only had 6 guard spots. He's right there. He has games where he looks awesome. He could have a game in game 3 where he could easily have 50 points against Dallas. We wouldn't be surprised. But there's that one last piece. And I think as everybody talks about what's going to happen with this Jazz team, Quinn Snyder, is he going to be gone? What do you do with Gobert? How do you shake this up? How much did they miss Joe Ingles? Did this team make its run? And then you have the people on the other side going, no. This is a team that can win 47 to 53 games every year. Like, don't take that for granted. You want to add to that. But I come back to Mitchell. Like, can you be the best player on a great team? And I'm not sure.
So I wrote about that during the season.
Yeah, I remember.
The next step for Utah, for Mitchell, I think ultimately is this. Okay, you've been here 5 years. We've helped you grow a lot. But I think if you're Utah, Utah really can't sell Mitchell on, hey, we're going to bring in another superstar and we're going to go like 1-2 super team. That's just not Utah's. That's not really what they're going to be able to do. What they have to sell them is, if you stay here, we can continue to grow your game, make you a better player. And I think the obvious next move for Mitchell is to move him to point guard full time.
Agree.
That does 2 things. One, if he's at point guard full time, okay, automatically your points are going to go up, your assists are going to go up, your numbers are going to go up. And if your numbers go up, that moves you up the awards. It moves you up the rankings. This is important to players. That's the primary. And then secondary, if you move him to point guard, well, now we can put actual size around you. And that's been the issue in Utah for me the last few years. They've had so many like secondary ball handler types, like a Mike Conley, like a Joe Ingles, or they're almost
even Clarkson, who needs the ball.
Yeah, they're almost like treading wheels for Mitchell, where, hey, we don't trust you to run the offense full time. You just get your numbers. You're part of a system, and it's fine. Like, we have guys who run the offense, control tempo, move the ball, and you just get your numbers. The problem is it's very hard to have those kind of players, and those players also be great defensively. So you're kind of left with this like catch-22. Like, either you can improve the defense around Mitchell, or you can improve the playmaking and scoring around him. You're probably not going to improve both, because if you were getting like, Jason Tatum or something, right?
Right.
So therefore, if Mitchell, to me, like the next step for Utah, if he's going to stay in Utah, it's because he can keep growing his game. They'll say, we've got this great offensive system, great offensive coach. We can put you in a role to increase your statistics and then find better defenders around you. I mean, at the end of the game, you're talking about like last night, they had to play Daniel House in the 4th quarter because they're just getting crushed on the perimeter.
It's good to see him.
Yeah, this guy was on a 10-day contract a month ago.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to play.
I always kind of like this guy. Yeah, his stats are basically the same for the last 4 years. I mean, in 2019, he was 24 a game. This year, he's 26 a game. Not a lot of difference. The usage rate is in that like low 30s. And I agree with you. I think at some point, what is he? Is he just that kind of fringe all NBA guy who can get hot in a couple playoff games? Or is this a guy that should be used like Westbrook, 2017-18 OKC, where he just has the ball all the time? You try to leverage that. I don't really know the answer, but it does feel like this team is at the precipice of something. Like, to me, it's more likely instead of Dallas winning this series, Utah losing this series. If I seesawed it, it would be more like we look back at this series like, wow, I can't believe Utah blew that series over. Wow, I can't believe Dallas took that series. Dallas played great yesterday. And my takeaway was like, wow, I can't believe all the weird shit Utah did. So I don't know where they go. From a Dallas standpoint, if they can somehow survive this, and as you said, get to game 5 Luka and just claw their way out of that series and get Luka at like 90%, I like a lot of the stuff they do. I don't think that's a fun playoff series for anybody with the shooters that they have and the fact that they have an identity and the superstar at the end of games. Would not want to see them.
Yeah, the Jason Kidd's been really good too. I gotta say, like
Yeah,
he's
who knew?
passed every test with flying colors. People can learn from their mistakes. Imagine that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, 2 different coaching stints, but this version of him has been great. I mean, you think like if he had maybe, I don't know what he learned from the Lakers and the LeBron stint, but it was obviously helpful. But if he had done this in Milwaukee, he'd probably still be coaching them, right?
Yeah, and then you're right with Dallas, it's like it's so weird because right now with the Mavs, it's just about survival. It's just about get to the tomorrow, claw
Mm.
out wins without Luka. And then when you get Luka back, you're saying, we've got a player who can be the best player in each series. And then not only that, the difference this year, we have the player who can be the best player in any series, and we play good defense around him, and we have a number 2 in Brunson. And if you have all those 3 things lined up, it's like, let's just take our chances and see what happens. But obviously now it's just ultimately just about Luka and how he can get back. And it would be heartbreaking for me if he didn't get back this year, but you just never know.